So what do you think of this album cover before we get into each track?
I generally like it. I dig it is actually the words that I wrote on here. So I dig it, dude.
Nice.
So going back to the 60s. Love the dice concept actually for that, because the first one was a table with like a bowl of fruit on it that kind of symbolized, I think, the Apple breakup and all the Beatles and stuff like that. The second one was just a picture of him. And then this one shows just the dice hanging up there. Love the black top kind of fading or diving into the reflective silver. It looks so good. Looks futuristic, especially with that McCartney font that's at the top here. Looks really kind of cool. Looks futuristic without being too kind of like fake spacey or idealistic spacey. It kind of looks like it's something new. Looks something sharp. It feels kind of Justin Timberlake-y for some reason to me. Like I feel like there's because there's concepts of him, I think, throughout the album that kind of pop in the production side, where I think really this feels like it's a cool hand. It feels like it's somebody that's got something coming right there. Just feels sexy, to me for what it is, and it's simple.
Yeah, it is simplicity at its finest. One thing that stood out to me that I really like, and you mentioned the font, but I also like the small c in McCartney is positioned as a superscript and not a subscript. So the way, like in the English language, we would write McCartney, like MCC, is this first C is lowercase, sandwiched in between the uppercase M and the uppercase C. But not only is it lowercase, but it's just like, it seems like it's positioned lower. But in this one, it's positioned at the top of the line. So it's a lowercase c, but it's positioned in line with the top of the M and the top of the C, rather than just being put on the same line as all the other lowercase letters. So I thought that was really cool. I'm glad you called it silver, because I had written like that cool transition from black to murky blue. Murky blue is just not as sexy.
Yeah, well,
as
it is
silver.
on the left. I can see that murky blue on the left, but the right-hand side definitely has a little more whiteness to it, where it should be silver. But I see that blue that you're talking about.
And then you see the reflection of the dye in there. Yeah. And then there's just that subtle, you can see the light from the camera or the lighting on the dye, and you just see those three little dashes in the black part of the dye where the light is coming from. So that's really cool. Just kind of a very like crisp, clear picture. So yeah, pretty cool piece of album cover art.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I wanted to run by you real quick is that, do you think those are intentional in there? Because the way that I saw them, and it's me playing with my mixer quite a bit the last couple of weeks, but I wondered if those dials are like set to zero, like is that meant to be like set to zero? Because
I didn't even notice them as like dials.
Yeah, so like dials just in the studio where I'm thinking to myself they're set to zero. I wonder if that was purposeful or if they just got lucky, like McCartney usually does on a lot of his album covers, especially dating back to the Beatles.
That could be too.
But it looks pretty fucking sweet, though. I like it. Especially the reflection is really cool because it cuts the 3 in half on the reflection.